Do you want to learn how to make this raw, plant-based spaghetti and meatballs recipe that is full of flavor, full of nutrients, and protein? Well, stay tuned. Welcome to Wellness Fridays. So today we're going to make a delicious raw spaghetti and meatballs recipe that is fully plant-based and all living foods, okay? So when I make these recipes on here, I do try to make them as cost efficient and use as minimum ingredients but still full of flavor. So what we're going to do, we are going to start with making this delicious recipe. We're going to use natural ingredients, and so what I'm starting with is zucchini and carrot for the noodles. I'm also going to be using some bell peppers and tomatoes for the pasta sauce. And as you can see here, I'm going to also use some sun-dried tomatoes, and then we have some kale and some other things that we're going to add into the spaghetti. Now, the most important thing is the meatballs. So we're going to use 1 cup of walnuts, a half a cup of sunflower seeds, and a half a cup of pumpkin seeds, and that's going to be the base of your meatballs. Now, we are also going to throw in some chopped mushrooms into the nut mixture to make the meatballs. I'm going to use an avocado for the texture so we can get that texture to really make those meatballs. And then I'm showing some dates here because that's what we're going to use in the pasta sauce. Now, I soaked these nuts for, not too long, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. And then I throw them in the blender, and this is what you see here, the blended mixture of nuts. And so as I blend it, you see it's already a good texture to make meatballs, but we're going to add some more things. So we're going to add the mushrooms. We're going to chop the mushrooms up, blend them with the nut mixture, and then you can see how that looks here. And then after that is blended, we are going to add an avocado. So I'm going to smash the avocado up by itself, and then I'm going to add the nut and mushroom mixture to the avocado, and then we're going to mix that together. And you can see here that is already looking good. That's a great texture already. And so after that, I'm going to add some seasonings. So you can add your favorite seasonings. I'm going to show you what I added here. Some onion powder, some smoked paprika, some sage, and some cumin, which cumin is really good. I think if you're always trying to get that meat flavor, add you some cumin. All right. And so then after that, also add some pico de gallo, but you can do onions and garlic if you want to. And then as we mix it up, you can see how it's already mixing up, and you can actually go ahead and use this as your meatball mixture. As you might have noticed, I did not add salt because my hummus that I'm going to add to the mixture already has salt in it, and I don't want it to be too salty. So then I add the hummus, and that's going to help you with getting the texture you want for your meatballs. And so then I just mix that all together really nicely. And doesn't that look good? You can eat this by itself if you wanted to. You could eat it just like this, or you could put it in a wrap. But I'm going to make meatballs with it. So after I give it a good mix, we're ready now. It tastes so good. We're ready to make some meatballs, right? Raw meatballs. So just do it like, get ready to get your hands dirty. Do it like you would do regular meatballs. Get it into a ball, and there you have a nice meatball that's going to pair nicely with your spaghetti. All right, so now that we have our meatballs, we are going to start on our next thing. So after we have our meatballs, as you can see here, we're going to make our noodles. So it's time to make our noodles. And I wanted to tell you about this little machine here. It's super cheap. If you want this machine, I will put it in the description so that you can get your own. But I've had this for about a year, and it is one of my favorite machines to use because I like pasta on a regular basis. So having raw pasta is delicious. So anyway, we're going to use zucchini and carrots. You're going to cut off the ends so that you can fit it into the zoodle maker. And so you just put both ends there and you just give it a turn. And look at that. Noodles, right? And so you have different blades that will give you different sizes. And so you can see that. Now this carrot was a little bit harder to do because it was less surface. I would get a larger carrot if you can. The store did not have really large carrots, so I had to get this one. Now, but you can see it still came out pretty good. But I'm going to tell you, it took a lot of arm strength. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And so if you want, you can go ahead and add, just a little bit of maybe lemon juice or something. You can sprinkle some seasonings or salt on it. But my tomato sauce is going to give it all the seasoning that it needs. So I'm just going to add my other ingredients now. So I add kale to it because I love kale, and this is seasoned kale. So that also adds more flavor. And of course, it gives you the nutrients that you need in your body. After I add my kale, I'm then ready to make my tomato sauce, which I'm going to use 2 Roma tomatoes and some bell peppers and some sun-dried tomatoes. All right, so there you have it. I mixed those ingredients together and made this beautiful tomato sauce. And then after that, I add the dates to give it a sweetness. And then also you're going to want to add your seasonings to this as well. I added onion powder, sweet basil. Sweet basil is so necessary when you're getting tomato sauce. I'll put the seasonings I use in the description so you'll know what seasonings I used. And then there you have it. You have a delicious sauce to go with your noodles. And you can eat it just like this if you want to. But of course, I am going to add my meatballs to it. I do like a lot of sauce, so I added more sauce. You don't have to do that. But we just nicely place our meatballs. I only did about 5 meatballs. You have more than enough to make more if you want. And I actually had some more left over that I'm going to use later. And then I just add some more tomato sauce. And this tomato sauce is so good, and it has no extra stuff in it that we don't need in our bodies. And then after that, I sprinkle it with some nutritional yeast to give it kind of that Parmesan taste. And there you have it. You have a delicious raw spaghetti and meatballs. And when I tell you that this was one of the most delicious raw meals I have ever eaten, I am not playing. It's so delicious. It does not cost a lot of money, and it's good for you. And so give it a taste. I want you to tell me what you think about this delicious meal. Leave your comments, and happy healing, happy eating. I just ask one thing, that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Look at that. Spaghetti, y'all. I'll see you next time. Peace.